Hey guys, it's Victoria with Just Discussion. Today we have guest speakers, so I want you to stay tuned. We're going to talk about a topic that is very controversial. Hey everyone, this is Minister Mary and Pastor Joy, and I'm hosting them on the show today for Just Discussion. So the topic we're going to talk about today is abortion. So Minister Mary works in the medical field, and Pastor Joy, she's been pastoring for a while now. She has her own services. So would you guys agree that there's an agenda with abortion? Would you agree with that? And what are your thoughts on that?
I definitely would. See, that's one of the things that people don't realize. You have to go back to the origins of things. And when you go back to the origins of abortion, it was started by eugenicists. If you don't know what eugenics is, it's basically people deciding who's fit to live and who is not. And so us as women of color, we would be undesirable to live.
Right.
Yeah. And so when they began abortion, they began them in black neighborhoods. Then they branched out to Hispanic neighborhoods. Even today, you will not find a Planned Parenthood in an affluent white neighborhood. You will not find one. I challenge you to look for one. You're not going to find it. Why? Because that's the agenda. The agenda is we up here, the elite, are going to decide who's fit to live. And that is propagated down to now the mothers deciding who's fit to live. But see, that was already, the top tier, they decide that, and then they pass that mindset to everyone else. Oh, it's your body. So it's a lie that's fed to people.
Right.
With the agenda behind it, and the agenda is these are undesirables. The folly in that is that it's extreme arrogance. We're not God. Who are we to decide who is fit to live and who is not?
And I just want to piggyback on that a little bit, because a lot of times during early pregnancy, they think it's not a baby. It's just a blob of flesh. And I know even back in the day, I was told that. It's not a baby. It's just a blob of flesh. It's not real. So we kind of use the Sled Method, which says, size. Are larger people more human than small ones? Size does not equal value. L means level of development. Should older children have more rights than younger ones? Ability does not equal value. E for environment. Does your value change depending on where you are? How then can an 8-inch journey change the value of the unborn from non-human to human? Location doesn't equal value. D, degree of dependency. If viability makes us valuable, then those who depend on insulin or kidney medication are not valuable, and we may kill them. Viability and independence doesn't equal value. So therefore, it's not a blob of flesh. This is a person. This is a baby. Your journey through the womb doesn't make you any less valuable where you are. It is a baby. Life starts at conception. And I was thinking about how sometimes people tend to value animals more than they value babies. And I remember thinking, let's use a tadpole, for example. You see a tadpole in the water or the pond and it's swimming around. Does it look like a frog? No, but it's eventually going to evolve into a frog. It's going to turn into one. It's going to develop into one. But in its early stages, it looks completely like something else. Well, in the womb, when you see it on ultrasound, it may not look like a fully developed baby, but it's going to grow and develop into a human being.
And if I can tag along real quick, and that's kind of a superficial way to think about it, because people are looking at the form of it. Reality doesn't hit them because they're looking at what it looks like on the outside, but they're not getting a full understanding of what it actually is. He or she is a child. It's a human. It's a person.
As opposed to an animal or a frog. It may not look like a frog at first. It's going to develop into one. It may not look like a fully formed baby, but it's going to develop into a fully formed baby, a human being.
Yes.
It is valuable.
And I just want to piggyback off of what you said with that, because the original question was agenda. And so one of the things that I believe is that part of the agenda was this. First, we introduce abortion. We take care of the young, the ones that we don't feel are fit to live, the young. Because it all goes back to eugenicism. So when you open the door and you desensitize people in such a way that the smallest and most helpless are no longer valued, you open the door now to those people that you just mentioned.
Right.
The sickly, the elderly.
Elderly.
Where does the line stop?
Absolutely.
Now we've already crossed the line. We've already desensitized people to the most cutest. You know what I'm saying? That's the most extreme right there. A tiny little baby. If I can do that with a tiny little helpless baby, I can do that with the old man.
That's right.
I can do that with the person that has cerebral palsy. I can do that because what am I doing? I am flippantly deciding your life is not valuable.
That's right.
In my eyes. And you have actual pushback right now from people that have cerebral palsy, and they're like, no, we like our lives. We value our lives. I've seen some of them that they've been interviewed and things like that, and because there are some countries that are completely, if they find out that you have cerebral palsy, they're killing every single child.
Euthanasia, things like that.
So they are automatically aborting these babies. And so there's now a pushback from these people, the adults, the grown ones, and they're saying, no, we have a right to live.
Right.
If you give me a choice right now, I choose my life. I don't want to die. I like my life. Somebody that has everything up here, that appears to have everything normal, this and that, is deciding now, in my eyes, because you don't look like me, because you don't have the same, makeup up here, the same brain power, you're not viable.
Right.
And again, what gives you the right to decide? Because I have everything up here, because I look the way I look, I can decide you're not fit to live. So the agenda, yes, there's an agenda because it opens the door. Now we're on a slippery slope.
Wow. That's good. So there's so many routes we can go to just debunk the thoughts that pertain to that agenda. But you're right, it definitely is an agenda, and we don't decide people's value. The Bible says that we are valuable. We're precious in God's sight, and that's what we want to address. And we want to address these topics and really give insight from people in different fields. I hope you guys really enjoyed this segment. We'd like to hear from you. We want to know what you guys think. Share your comments. We don't desire to hear from keyboard warriors. That is something I will always say in every single episode. So thank you guys so much for joining us with Just Discussion. Thank you, Minister Mary, and thank you, Pastor Joy, for joining us. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.